Doing well, thanks. How are you?
Oh, doing great. Doing well. We got Russ. We got everybody turn on, unless you're in the shower, turn on your video.
Yeah.
You know what? We said that once and somebody was in the shower and they turned on their video and we're like, wait a minute, hey, this is PG-13 here, man.
We usually just tell them to unmute. Let me hear the shower if you're in it. I don't need to see it.
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, that gives the meaning of a full service company a whole new meaning, right?
Absolutely.
Okay, I gotta get started here. So,
Yeah.
hey, you know what? I'm really excited. We've got my friend, my colleague, business partner. We got Nick Krim here with us today. So, and he's got some great content. Hey, Nick, can you share a little bit about yourself and then let's just jump into our value today.
Let's go. Yeah. So I actually started in the business at a call center, calling 15 hours a day. I'll be at 8 a.m. on the East Coast to 8 p.m. on the West Coast, calling for real estate agents. So I got a really good basis. I didn't know that I was learning so much so quick, but like you name a CRM, I was in the back end of it. You name a value proposition, I pitched it. A script strategy, you know, we learned it all really quick. From there, I ended up running the company, and then I ended up starting my own company because I realized one really important thing when I was on the phone. One thing, I was managing about 80 clients at any given time across the country. And the worst call I would get is when, oh man, things aren't working. And I hated those calls because you never knew where they were coming from. But here's when I really started to dissect it. I know most agents will tell you it's the leads. It wasn't the leads. It wasn't the CRM. It wasn't the time of day. It wasn't the caller. This was the big difference I noticed on the phone. Hey, I'm calling on behalf of Nick. Who the heck's Nick? Man, I could read them their social security number. I could tell them what home they're looking at right now, and they still say it's not me. I'm like, sir, you just looked at this home. I'm following you on the website. Like, no, that's not me. I'm like, all right. And then we would circle prospect for this one client. And we would circle prospect this $1 million neighborhood and get 4 listings a month. Because I would call and say, hey, I'm calling on behalf of Nick. Like, oh, Nick, yeah, how's it going? And that's when I realized how important a strong brand, personal brand, especially in your marketplaces, can be for you. It's a difference to me. A strong brand turns every person into a referral.
That's awesome. You know what? That's a writer downer, you guys. Strong brand. So we've got more people coming in. I'm really excited about this because I've been on a mantra lately about collaboration. This is the economy of collaboration. So this is a company agnostic event that we have every Wednesday and Friday. You know, we have agents that are on here from Compass, from Keller Williams, from EXP, from C21, Coldwell Banker. It's, you know what, this market is changing right now and we need to collaborate and we need to be peer-to-peer, economy of collaboration so we can all stick together. A cord of 3 strands is not easily broken. So I'm glad to see everyone in the house here. Nick, let's rock and roll.
Let's go. Man, so it's funny. So my brother sent me some pictures of our old video studio, like when we first got started. So my old video studio was, I had an ironing board that my computer would sit on. And I had these like ugly yellow gold walls. I don't know why I painted those as a kid. But they were just ugly colors. So my entire background I covered with posters. So like when you walked into my room, there would literally be an ironing board always set up. And then you'd see the entire ugly wall, but then just like a section of posters. And like that was my high-end video studio. But the reason I'm bringing this up is because like a big question we get all the time, what kind of equipment do I need to get started? You don't need anything, right? You really don't need anything to get started. But you know, some things that we learned along the way of, so this background, I actually got a little creative here. So here, I'm in my content studio, but my cameraman, so now we're in a house. We have a 7-bedroom house, turned the entire thing into a video studio. But my cameraman's not here. And what I realized is I don't know how to work any of it without him. So I'm on my laptop right now. But right now, like behind me, this is just something really simple that you guys could use if you guys want to create a background. We got this from IKEA. It's a changing room divider. And then we bought like a $4 light color switching light bulb from Walmart that's lit up behind us. So this thing could turn like 15 different colors. This board is like 30 something, 40 something dollars. We got a couple of them along the walls and just like some lights to light it up. But the point I'm making about this is you don't need thousands of dollars worth of equipment to get started. You don't need all those tools in order for it to give you a certain look, right? So like there's a lot of different ways that we can start getting creative when we start doing this. But like as far as social media goes, I'll tell you what, one of the best videos that we can start doing, this is how I got started and this is how I blew up as fast as we did, is doing interviews consistently. Interviewing people, and there's a tool I'm going to put in the chat. I'm going to talk about it a little bit too. I'm trying to type while I talk, which is very difficult. StreamYard.com. So here's what we do. So this is a way where you guys can get a video on Facebook, YouTube, and LinkedIn, and have a podcast on 6 major platforms with these 2 tools. Oh, wrong spelling on that one. Buzzsprout.com and StreamYard.com. So within a half hour, you can have a video on Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, rip the audio and upload it to Buzzsprout. And now you have a podcast on about 5 major platforms: Spotify, iTunes, Google, Stitcher. There's like a couple more that you can do too. So here's the process that we do, because I'm all about multiplying our efforts. I think a lot of times when I attend other social media classes, so a lot of the times I end up leaving more confused than when I walked in. I think a lot of these social media classes too, they don't realize, I don't know if they're made for real estate agents. It's expected to drop everything you're doing. And it's like, no, I need to pick up the phone. I need to call clients. I need to get out, go out there and go on listing appointments. So here's what we do. So the interview strategy is actually really simple. The reason I love interviews is because I ask 4 or 5 questions and I look great, right? I don't have to sit there and think of a script for a couple hours. I don't have to sit there and memorize it, go through it, try and sound authentic as I'm going through it. So when I continue to interview people, all I need to keep doing is making sure I get my next interview set up. And we'll go through some different people for you to interview. But on StreamYard, man, I'll tell you what, the reason we love StreamYard is because it's super user-friendly. And all my training that we do for social media, I always send it to my grandma, who's like 79. She's 79, not like, she is 79 years old. And I send it to her. I'm like, hey, grandma, can you do this? And if she says no, I'm like, all right, what do you need help with? StreamYard was one of the only platforms that I can get her to use. So that's one that we ended up rolling out, and it's extremely user-friendly. But on StreamYard, you can have your graphics on the screen while you're live. You can have an intro video play while you're live. So now, instead of sending it to video editor, waiting a week or 2 for it to come back, now you go live on StreamYard, you have your graphics on the screen, you have an intro video, basically a fully edited video already while you're live. So now you do that interview, boom, it goes to Facebook, YouTube, and LinkedIn. And then what you can do from StreamYard is rip the audio and upload it to a place called Buzzsprout. Buzzsprout hosts your audio as a podcast on all those major platforms. So within a half hour, the video interview should take about 15, 20 minutes. Within a half hour, you can have a video on those major platforms and have it go over to Buzzsprout as well. Next question we get is like, who do we interview? So I like to keep it really simple. We have a strategy called reach up, reach down, and reach out that we just do consistently for our interviews. The first one we do is we reach up. We reach up to somebody who can provide some education to the marketplace. Normally another real estate agent in our office or somebody that you look to that can give you some information. Reach down is being able to reach down and show some of the clients that you're helping. Bring on a past client, bring on somebody that you just did a deal with and talk about what the process was. You get video testimonials every single time you do it. There is nothing more powerful than a video testimonial, unless you bring one of your past clients to meet one of your other clients, which I don't think we're going to do. But there's almost nothing more powerful than a video testimonial. And I like to look at content as something, as an asset. And a lot of content that I see out there is almost a liability. So here's why I say that. If you shoot a video talking about the rates right now, let me see here. Let's ask Derek Sanderson. Derek, if I shoot a video about the rates right now, how long would that video be good for?
Probably about an hour.
Probably about an hour, right? That's a great answer, right? So Derek, let me ask you this. If I shot that video and then a week later, somebody calls you about those rates, wanting to lock in, how's that conversation going to go?
If you don't know your scripts, it's going to get awkward really fast.
Get really awkward really fast, right? Because all of a sudden they're like, well, were you lying in the video or like, you know, and like it gets really awkward, it gets sticky. So like, don't get me wrong. Should we keep our clients updated? Yes, but it's also important to understand, I like shooting content that I can continue to repurpose, that I can continue to reuse, that can then go into drip campaigns, that can then work as a replacer. I don't know about you guys, but if I go on vacation, I don't want to be sitting on my computer answering questions about the rates and things going on. I want my content to work for me, so then I have clients lined up and I can take time away. Content, I believe content was made to work while we sleep, not work against us. So if you're only shooting videos about the current marketplace, guess what? You're going to have to keep shooting videos for the rest of your life. Tom, that's something that you see that we do a lot of. Man, I'll tell you what, I'm repurposing videos from 5 years ago that I shot. Why? Because we're talking about our core values, our beliefs. We're talking about different things that we're doing. So it's important to understand the difference between content as an asset and content as a liability. So again, one of the most powerful things you can do, get in those video testimonials with your clients, because then think about the drip campaigns that you could put that in. Get in front of your people. So we're going to go over some different ways to make your content an asset. So about 3 years ago, 3 or 4 years ago, I was sitting down with this rep from Zillow. So this rep from Zillow, we were sitting there, we were drinking a little bit. It was my goal to get a little bit out of him, right? I was just trying to see what they have working on the back end. And I got a lot more than I originally anticipated. So it was a little later in the night, and he turned to me, he's like, hey, he's like, man, he's like, all these agents, they just keep building our business. And let's see, Mike, my man, Mike Bridges, if the Zillow rep turned to you and said, hey man, all these agents just keep help building our business, what would be the first initial thing that you think of?
I don't know, because Zillow has failed on me because
Oh,
I used to be the Zillow king.
right. So, like what I said was, like all these agents buying leads, right?
Yep.
Like all these agents keep buying leads, but then other people complain about it, right?
Right.
Right. So that's what I said. And he laughed. He's like, no. He's like, think about it for a little bit. Oh my. So then I thought about it, and dude, get this. So why, like, this is how I walk through the process, right? Why are all the agents buying leads? Because all the consumers are trained that the home is the most important part of the deal, right? Because they're trained to look for a home and pick an agent out of a hat. What is Zillow's business model? Look for homes online and we'll pair you up with any agent who's paying us. So how are we training people to do that? And I'm sorry, guys, this might hurt a little bit, because I'm sure if some of you guys go to your social media right now, you might be doing a lot of this because the industry teaches us to do this. And probably one of the Zillow reps teaches you to do this. Every time you list a home, post a picture of the house, give the specs, and let everyone know you just listed it. Every time you help somebody move into a home, post a picture of the home, post the specs, and how quickly you help somebody move into it. All you're training people to do is that the home was the most important part of that deal. The home is the only thing that matters. So you're literally training the consumer that we're a commodity. You know, I see a lot of times people go into groups, they're like, how could these people not understand all the hard work that I do? I'm like, well, you just did a deal that you said was really hard, and all you did was post a picture of the home. So what do people see? You list a home and a week later it's sold. Man, that was the easiest job in the world. Sometimes we have to take accountability for what we are teaching the consumers, right? Because they only know as much as we allow them to know. So here's what I want you guys to do. I want you guys to start having the people choose you, and then you help them find a home or sell their home, right? So here's how you're going to do that. It's super simple, and you're really not going to do anything different with your day. It's just a slight tweak in it. So every time you help somebody sell a home, here's what I want you to do. Go stand in front of the home, just hold your phone up just like this, and let people know what you had to do to get this home sold for top dollar and the amount of time that you got it allotted for. Tell them about staying up till 8 p.m., 10 p.m., working with some lenders. Tell them about like a deal fell through because of X, Y, and Z. Don't throw anybody under the bus, but just let them know the work that you put into it. Let them know on the reality of the situation. That, guys, I was up to 11 p.m. making sure this deal went through. I was doing this. I was doing this. Why? Because that is my job as an expert. If you want, in this market, if you want to get your home sold for top dollar, you need to work with an expert. And then here's one of my favorite ones, because I'll tell you what, this really gets people thinking, right? When you help somebody buy a home, Here's how you start each and every one of these videos. Hey guys, we just helped a family move into this home here on 123 Maple Street. I want to, as I'm dropping my phone, I want to present to you guys the reality of the situation. There were 4 other offers on this home. That means there were 4 other people who envisioned their life in this home, who maybe envisioned their kids going to play at the park down the street, saw their kids going to this school. They wanted to go to Tom Dave's Bistro right down the street. They saw their entire life getting in here, but the reality is only one family did. So guys, this is what I did to make sure my clients got into this home. And then you go into it. You want to talk about how much more powerful is that as compared to posting a picture of a home and how many beds and baths it is. The reality of the situation, because something that I've learned early on is people are sold on emotion and they justify with logic. Has anybody here ever lost a deal because they just felt like, man, my gut was telling me to go with the other person? Logically, you knew you had all the stats, everything to show them that you had a better agent, better process, everything. But like, man, I just felt like that they were the right person to go with. Because people are moved based on emotion and justified with logic. Plus, look, guys, this may shock some of you. People on social media aren't logical, right? Like you see all these posts, all these crazy people. They're not logical. They don't go there to really get logical information. People go to social media to be entertained. They go there to be entertained. And I know sometimes it's like, well, how do I entertain people? It's not doing a song and a dance, which a lot of social media people may be doing. It's telling a story. It's telling people the reality of the situation. Dude, there were 7 other offers on this home. Guys, so there were 7 other offers. That means 7 other people saw their family doing this, this, and this. Here's what I did to make sure that we got this through. So, and then you go through the process. Why? Because you are now educating the client and what it really means to work with an expert. Think about this. So here's a great one. How many for sale by owners do you guys have on your marketplace? You don't have to answer that right now, but just give that a thought, right? So imagine this is how you start using content as an asset. And this is why I say shooting videos that can be used as an asset. Because 10 years from now, I can take, let's say I got 100 of those videos of me standing in front of a house telling somebody how I helped sell them a home, right? I put it in a drip campaign, all for sale by owners in the marketplace. I just send that out to all for sale by owners. When we started doing this, we started getting calls back from some of these FSBOs like, damn, yeah, I'm getting calls. I didn't know I was gonna be getting this many calls. I thought I just listed the home. You start telling people what actually goes into selling a home. Man, this is what I do for my clients. I stay up till 10 p.m. I stay up till midnight. I'm taking these calls. I'm doing this. FSBO watches that and they're like, yeah, I'm already working one job. I don't want to, like, they don't understand what really goes into this. So now you're starting to explain it and showcase it rather than just tell them, here's why you should hire me. No, man, like, here's all the things you're going to have to deal with. Here's what I had to do just to get this one home sold. Now, those videos of you standing in front of selling homes, you send to FSBOs, right? You start using those as a drip campaign. It's a lot more powerful than a video showing them stats. They don't give a shit about the stats. They don't. That's logic. Numbers are logic. They aren't sold on logic. They're sold on emotion. You start watching those videos and start bringing up some of those pain points like, crap, I don't want to do any of that. And then when you start showing them the stats, they justify it like, oh, that makes sense, right? So that's where that content can be used as an asset. For the buyer ones, man, that's, again, buyer campaigns. Any buyers that you have come in there, instantly just give videos of you standing in front of homes or even your testimonials with the clients talking about, man, we're almost at the time already, talking about different things that you can do for it, right? So that's one of the ways. Here's something else that you guys can do. If you guys want to do a takeover of a neighborhood, I think I shared this last time on here, Dave, but I'll tell you what, it is this important to go over again. So here's what we decided to do. We call this the land, sea, and air approach, right? Because I'm big into like war history and like different books, and they just start talking about going land, sea, and air. If one person's going land and sea, another person's doing land, sea, and air, you're going to dominate them, right? So this is how you can take over any neighborhood within a month. Like every time we did this, we took over the neighborhood. We're getting listings, buyers, everything within a month. So here's what you do, right? First thing that you do is you interview a local business, local business that somebody eats at, like right outside the neighborhood, that you believe everybody in that neighborhood would go to, right? You interview them, and then here's what you do in the interview. You say to one person who shares this video, I'm giving away $100 gift card. You guys follow me with that? So one person who shares this video, I'm giving $100 gift card away, right? Here's what you do on the follow-up. You make sure you have that video, you get a QR code or a YouTube link, whichever one you do, but then you send out a mailer. So this is a Dan Kennedy technique. He calls it lumpy mail, right? And this is badass because everyone tells me, oh, mailers are dead. I'm like, no, you just don't know how to do them, right? So here's what you do. And this, I'm telling, like, this is so key. Do not leave out the mailer. Some people said, well, I tried it without the mail. I'm like, it didn't work, did it? They're like, no. I'm like, well, why didn't you? This mailer is pivotal, right? So in this mailer, like on the piece of paper, whatever you do in the envelope, you send them like the QR code, like, hey, there's a $100 gift card to one person who shares this video right down the street. That's not even the coolest part in this, right? So what you do in the envelope, here's what I like to use. I go to the dollar store and I get those like little army men with the parachutes. Like I get those because they're weighted, they feel weird. So when you put that in the envelope, here's what people do. They go through their mail, bill. They get to this and they feel something inside. Like, all right, what is this? They try and like hold it up. They can't figure out what it is. So curiosity gets them every time. They're like, all right, what's in here? Because they just want to know what's in there, right? Because every other bill is flat. All of a sudden, this is weighted weird. It feels weird and they can't figure it out. So they open it. And here's what you have to put in it. Put a $1 scratch off in it. Like a $1 scratch off. What's that going to do? Guys, you literally gamified mail. The most boring, painful thing that people deal with, you now gamified it. Now it's like, holy crap, you just open this up. You got a little army man, like, all right, whatever. You got a mailer or you got a little $1 scratch off. And then you look at this, the place right down the street from you, it's a chance to win a $100 gift card. You just have underneath there like that you're a real estate agent. So now right now, if they win $5 on it, again, even $1, you just made them a winner opening mail. It's something small that triggers on their brain. It's like, oh, that's pretty cool. $5 isn't really going to change anyone's life because $5 is really like 50 cents now. $20 is like $1 with inflation, whatever. But like, it's the point that you just gamified it. You have a chance to make them a winner. So let me ask you this. Are they going to open up your next mailer you send out? Probably. But here's what you do that really takes it over the fence. I would recommend door knocking the neighborhood the next day that mailer goes out. So here's what's most likely going to happen. They opened your mail. They watched your video. They've done the scratch off. And now you show up like, oh my dude, yeah, I just got your mail the other day. People are going to be like talking to you like they already know who you are. It's insane what the amount of like feedback that you get. If you don't door knock, at least call the next day. Calling's a little bit tougher because you might not get everyone to answer. But I'm telling you, that door knock, here's the reality of what most real estate agents don't get. I've seen agents go into groups and they're like, man, my brother or cousin just went with another agent. What should I do? I see some nasty realtors get on there, never talk to them again. I'm like, damn, you must have like no friends. Because I went on their social media and they don't post or do anything. Because here's the reality. Most people don't go through all their life thinking about, man, you're the realtor I'm going to go with. I'm going to go with you. They have room in their brains for one agent. One agent. We like to say, once you own the mind share, you own the market share. Because if people think of you first, that's what winning looks like. So how does this strategy work for taking over the neighborhood? Because once you do that, you solidify yourself as the one realtor they think of. They saw you on a video, so it's the same as watching you on TV. You showed up at their house, you had a conversation with them, and now they're opening your mailers. Why? Because you might put a scratch off in there, you might have another giveaway. Now they're excited. You made them excited for mail. That's a really freaking hard thing to do, right? So you want to take over a neighborhood, that's one of the best ways you can do it. And then if you want to follow up and really take over that neighborhood, stand outside the neighborhood and start giving the specs. Here's what you give in a neighborhood video. So there's some key things in this, right? So in a neighborhood video, you want to talk about how are the school districts, how far is it from the airport, and how far is it from like downtown or an area? The three big things. And you want to label this video moving to, I'm trying to think of a neighborhood. I cannot think of one. Manchester. I don't know. McIntosh. That was one of the ones I lived down the street from. There it is. Moving to McIntosh, North Royalton, Ohio. That's how you label the video on YouTube and other places. So you give those specs. And again, any buyer that comes into your campaign looking for a home in that neighborhood, now you get to send that video out. These are just some little ways. You want to take over a neighborhood, you can do that all within a month and just start becoming the only realtor that people think of. I don't care how many signs they think of, that scratch off the giveaway and showing up, you're going to dominate their headspace, right? And here's the last thing I'm going to give, because I know we're running out of time, just because this is the best closing gift I've seen. I used to think closing gifts were just a waste of money, because everyone just kind of looks at them, throws them away. You give them wine, they drink it, food, whatever, even those knives or anything. I'm like, look, I don't look at anything like it's not really that great. But this closing gift, I got to experience it firsthand. So when I went back home to Cleveland, I wanted to spend time with my mom. And she was going over some relative I didn't know. You know, when it's like your mom's cousin's aunt's like third kid or something, I'm like, oh, okay, we'll go over there with you just to spend time with you. So we walk in and I sit on the couch, right? And all of a sudden my mom looks at the picture on the mantle. She's like, oh my gosh, that's such a nice picture of like you and your family. And then she turns to her and she's like, you know what? When we bought this house, the realtor brought the photographer back and took a family picture and framed it for us. And they went on to talk about the realtor for 30 minutes. And I'm just sitting there taking notes like, oh my gosh, this is so amazing. Like this was 20 years later. 20 years later, she's talking about the realtor by name, the things that they did, how great it was. I was like, holy shit, this is just genius. Because you think about that, what's one of the first things, especially moms, dads, when they walk into a home, oh, that's a nice family picture. It's a conversation starter every time. You frame it nicely, get a picture of the family, because it's, I don't know about you guys, but it was so hard to get a family picture in my family because everyone was always off doing different things. I think the last one we had, I was 2 years old, sitting in the cradle, like 1 year old. It's the last family picture that we really have, like official. But you get it framed, you put your logo very small and tasteful in the corner. Do not overshadow the picture. Because I'm telling you, the mom and dad will remember how they got that picture. Nice and framed. It always goes on the mantle or somewhere in the house. And it's always a conversation topic. That is the best closing gift, bar none, that I've seen out there. So guys, that's about my time here for today. Let's see. Do you guys have any questions? If you guys want to unmute, throw them in the chat. Tom, this is your live, so you take it away.
Man, this is awesome. So I love the content that you bring, the energy. And like you always say, Nick, it's not about being great. It's just about being consistent, to consistently post videos, post with personal, business, and inspirational values. So we've got time for one quick question. Jump in, rapid fire. What you got? Who wants to shout it loud and proud?
Let's go.
Okay, so one thing that I want to announce to all of you is that we've got, you know, as we know, this market is changing big time right now. And so what we did to get us here, we can't do to get us where we want to go. So every single day we have dialing for dollars. We're going to start here in about at 9:45 a.m. Pacific with role play. And then from 10 to noon, we have dialing for dollars. We're going to be on the Zoom. You mute out. You call your clients, your database, for sale bound. I don't care. The one thing that I do know is, because I've been through 5 of these market shifts, I do know that if we need to take action, take immediate action, and just have conversation. So we posted the link there. See you all in about 15 minutes. Jump on in and we'll have some fun with it. So, hey, Nick, any final words before?
Oh, yeah. So you're doing role playing, right? So I got one more thing for you guys. Because like I said, I was calling 15 hours a day over the phone. So I had to figure out some unique strategies to differentiate myself. Dude, I'm telling you this right now. We had a 25% higher closing rate, not appointment show up, closing rate across the board in every marketplace across the US when we did this, right? After you hang up the phone, no BombBomb app, no special app, nothing. Take out your phone and shoot them a video message every time you hang up the phone. And here's the 2 things you say in this, the 2 most important things. Always, always, always say their first name right away. Let them know that video is just for them. If you don't say their first name, they're going to think, oh, here's this sleazy salesperson just sending this video out to everybody. But when you say their first name, you instantly differentiate yourself. And here's the second thing. You never, ever, ever, ever watch the video before you send it. If you watch the video before you send it, you're going to reshoot it 10 different times. It's going to take you 20 minutes. It's not going to work. But here's what that does. This will change people from looking out their window saying, hey, is that Mike walking up the door? I don't know, honey. Like, I don't know if this is Mike. Let's wait for him to knock. They're waiting for you to knock. We had people opening the doors with cookies for our clients that never met him before because they knew who it was. They saw him coming. They met with 5 other realtors. I bet they didn't do that with those 4 other ones. You instantly create rapport. And something that we don't realize is we have this whole mental image of what somebody looks like over the phone. Get rid of that. Send them a video, smile in the video, say their name. You instantly create rapport. People will be showing up more. You'll have better rapport walking in. It's a game changer for you guys on those calls.
Awesome. Hey, Nick. Well, thank you, everyone. Now you all get your inspiration. Time to put in the perspiration. We'll see you all in a few minutes. If you have trouble getting into the Dialing for Dollars Live, go to a new browser or reboot your browser. So see you all in there. Thanks, everyone. Have a great weekend.
Later, guys.
All right, let's go.